Welcome back to another 15 Minutes of Fame. I'm Goldie, and I'm joined today by my friend, and I'm learning the new way. I've got to point. This is the correct direction. This is Chris Arnold, and speaking of direction, this guy is nowhere near me right now. He is marinating in the great country of Switzerland, and this is fun. That makes this whole thing international, makes it real, and it makes it exactly what I am really trying to do here with 15 Minutes of Fame, and that is reach out to human beings during this pretty rad time on the earth. So, with that being said, my friend, my French-speaking announcer, who I got to work side by side with at the Winter Youth Olympics in Switzerland this year. How are you today? And why don't we give a little information about who you are and what you're doing, and let the world know who you are.
Well, hi out there. My name's Chris, as Goldie already mentioned that, and I'm as well doing event announcements, as you just said, and at the moment kind of grounded at home, at least let's say during the weekends, because during the week I was able to start producing disinfectant lotion at the distillery I'm working at as well at the moment. So luckily I'm still able to go out and to earn some money, because as all the events got canceled, no money coming in from that side.
Mm-hmm. But you are, it sounds like you're working two jobs, so you have something to kind of like work within. You lose announcing, you can still do something else.
Exactly. I'm doing those lotions at the distillery at the moment. So about 5 tons in so far, which most of those 5 tons were running through my hands. And I can tell you, I feel my back and my hands and my shoulders.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
To be announcing is way easier.
Yeah, right. A little less manual labor. What do you, when you make all this lotion, the hand disinfectant, people are curious, how does it, what's a simple process? Like in 5 seconds, how do you make it?
Well, basically, at the moment, we were still able to find some already pre-mixed by like a chemical company, pre-mixed with like alcohol, ethanol, which is like 96 something percent of pure alcohol. Mm-hmm. Then there is stuff in that you can't drink it. So you would like, I think you would puke, like it smells kind of, I mean, that you should not.
It's disinfecting.
Yeah, from the inside and from the outside. And there as well, something for the skins in as well, so that you don't get your hands too dry.
Sure. But you take like your gin and you just whip together some alcohol and voila, it cleans your hands. What are you doing?
No, we actually at the moment still get it from outside. Because as we're a pretty tiny distillery, to produce the alcohol from scratch is very, very time consuming, and therefore with our wages quite expensive. So at the moment we still get it from the outside, but as we don't get stuff anymore from the outside, we have to probably pretty soon produce the alcohol from scratch ourselves.
And those, your products that you're making from your distillery, are they going to like stores to be sold? Are they going to like hospitals to be used? How are you guys delegating your product?
The product right now, we have, companies who call us. We have two of the big department stores from the area, or actually national ones, but like the area's shops who by now sell those products. Today, first time actually saw them in the shop. It's like, yay, my babies are here.
The little tiny doo-doos sent me their way. That's awesome.
200 milliliter bottles. Yes, they're in the stores now, and I kind of felt a little proud.
That's really cool. It's probably like an artist who sings a song and then goes to the CD store and they're like, "Oh my God, that's me!" That's pretty cool.
It's disinfectant hand lotion. It's like, yeah. I mean,
well, hey, that's the number one hit right now.
True. Yeah.
Okay, so that's great. You have an opportunity to do something else, and however, like you have already mentioned, like announcing's way easier, and it flows through your body. And when somebody puts you in front of a hockey game, or in front of a tennis match, or in front of a volleyball, in front of we got to work together in Switzerland. We did snowboard and ski or cross. We did ski mountaineering. Together, and without a doubt you had aptitude to speak on what was happening in front of you. So it's in you, it resides in you, but that talent that you're so good at, that is just something you can offer to the world, is dare I say, with all respect, not important right now. And nobody really is like, you know what, Chris, let's get you out to announce what's happening in the hospitals. All right, doctor number 1 going into room number 2 to save patient number 3, 4, and 5. It's not
No, I wouldn't really
happening.
work. I mean, luckily, I'm still working at the radio station as well, and that's still running.
Hmm.
And so we have the opportunity to at least do something on microphones for the people. It's not life. You don't see them, but still, you can still provide the people some good music, some easy afternoons and stuff like that. So
So you're
I'm not
DJing
totally
during the
off.
day.
Not totally off. I mean, we have one show a week every Thursday afternoon
And what
here
is
in.
that show about?
It's called Potstrutusik.
Yes.
That sounds pretty. I mean, it's some local slang, local numbers. Strutusik means like 3,000, and it's the zip code from Bern actually.
Oh, yes.
So and it's basically it's like the interns radio show. So I'm
Okay.
I'm, I'm an intern at a radio. So
Yeah, yeah.
therefore,
So what are you, music? Are you talk show? Are you both? What do you do?
we do music, and the cool thing is we can like bring our own music. That's pretty cool. We don't have to follow some hot 10, top 10, hot you
Sure.
know
You don't have a rotation to follow.
exactly. We can really bring in our own stuff, and all the interns we have to bring our own little thing to the radio. My thing is called the. I mean, you've done it. You've done it. You
Well, I
remember?
know I have, but the human beings who might be watching
Yeah.
this are like, I don't know what a radio
But
do. They
but
sit
but
in a room, they talk, they're ridiculous.
no, but the thing, like my first spoon of music, music is my little show thing on the station, and so I interview people, and they tell me about their first musical experience, the first musical thing that stuck to their head,
Oh, and
and
you did that interview to me. I love that
yeah,
question. I love that. That was so much fun because it
remember,
brought me,
you,
it kicked a memory, and I was like, oh
yeah, you
yeah,
were talking about 10 minutes, and I have to cut it down like 30 seconds.
I understand. Well, yeah, that's the version I give
I'm, I'm
anyone.
still I'm still working on it.
That
You haven't been aired yet.
that's why I had to call this thing 15 minutes of fame. I knew I had to cut my own self off. I'm like, oh, I talk so much.
The 15 minutes of fame, 10 minutes of Goldie. That's
Yeah,
like
fair. All right. Well, here, let's get back to you then. I have a question. So currently the human beings who are calling you in on your radio show, what's the topics? What do you guys talk about right now?
well, it's mostly like at the moment, it's mostly a one-way thing. It's like from us to the people. So us interns, we do things like one is bringing in like a new recipe every week. One gives you book tips, what books to read. Another one brings you what kind of games you could play. Another one's going for what kind of music, what kind of bands you should listen to at the moment, like as well to support them, because the Swiss radio stations at the moment play a lot of local bands that at least they get some royalties through airplay, because as no one can go on a concert, they don't get any money as well. So
And do people get a chance, like say if I wanted to watch your radio show, is it like internet radio, or do I have to have a radio in Switzerland, or how does that work with your guys' broadcast?
you can go through internet. It's www.rabe.ch. Rabe, like RABE, Rabe.
Yeah, you would have to spell that out for Americans, because I remember announcing words with you and I would see letters and you would say words and I'm like, wait, are we reading the same line? How did you say that?
Yeah, how do you say Lausanne? Can you still
Yeah,
say
oh, I have been abused. I have been abused with that word.
Lausanne?
Lausanne.
Yeah, you see, we should go back to it.
I literally had 50 people tell me, say it this way until we got it from boss lady. And I'm like, all right, that's it. That's whatever she said is what I'm saying.
Lausanne works just perfect. Yeah, you had it right there.
It was a phenomenal experience. So speaking of that, we have these opportunities to do phenomenal experiences, like announce the Winter Youth Olympics. You're doing a lot of ski events in the area. How has the rest of the ski season been for you since I left you in January? It's March now.
Well, we have.
How are things over in Switzerland right now,
Uh,
indifferent to what we know here in the U.S.?
well, the whole Corona situation started out a little earlier than over in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of like from Italy. Like Italy, we heard the first things going on. We heard like that ski areas would close down in Italy. And for us, it was like, ooh, that's going to happen here the same way pretty soon. And as we have 26 cantons in Switzerland, so like compared to the United States, we have like 50 states, we have like 26 states, and so they'll have their own kind of laws as well. So the most southerly canton or state got hit first, and is still the one who has the most people who died, the most who are infected, and they closed down ski areas pretty soon. And there's the big mountain range, the Alps, in between, which kind of like worked as kind of a barrier, and so it pushed north from Italy through the southern part of Switzerland, and we still had the hope that it would continue like the winter season, because I was supposed to, I think even today, to announce an event, and last weekend, like a 3-day event, the weekend before some events, and it could all cancel. So
right.
Yeah,
and
so
and,
really,
and what really go
as
ahead.
well, the ski areas got closed down, so we can't even go ski.
Right.
So the last time I went skiing was that like the first weekend of March? No, the last weekend of February, and then the first weekend of March they closed it all down.
And
We
then
actually
she was
wanted
done.
to go
Yeah.
that last weekend, and was a little confusion all around Switzerland, because some cantons shut down their ski areas right after our national government said, okay, now it's over. Some left it open because they kind of thought that it's the cantons or the states who have to shut it down. So that was at the beginning. It was not clear who is actually responsible for all those decisions. Is it the country? Is it the different states? And by now, we have that like state of emergency, like the highest possible. And then it's like really now it's the country who decides. And before that, like every canton could decide on their own.
Right. Now you're deciding as a whole. It's very interesting, because I've gone back and I've watched the story of like how this corona has unfolded, and Wuhan, China literally closed down January 23rd, the same day you and I left the Olympics, and we're like, okay, we're going to go do our lives. And I flew from Geneva to Amsterdam, back to Detroit, Denver, and I'm home. And not one time did I consider coronavirus in my head while traveling. It wasn't like on my radar yet. And to think that it was just over the Alps from us, manifesting, like doing its thing. And we were like oblivious. We had no idea. And it just blows my mind to think that like we were so close to a situation that literally we weren't even cognitive of. We were just like going about our days, like, hey, there goes a skier, there goes a boarder.
Exactly. And we had Italians competing there, and I remember you were talking about, I want to go to Zermatt, and Zermatt is a ski area connected to Italy. So they have Cervinia, who is on the other side. You can go over, ski to Italy, back and forth, and so I mean it definitely started down there already, but as what I've learned, like one of the biggest thing was like a soccer game where a lot of the people in Italy got infected, like a Champions League soccer game where already it was happening all around, and thousands of people went there, and kind of like a super spreading hot pot of germs.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Chris, we've got about a little less than a minute and a half to go. I want to hear some of this French that you're so darn good at. I want to hear you announce you're on the 15 minutes of fame in French, because see what maybe the viewers don't know right now. Chris and I got to point this way. I've learned how to work this thing. Chris and I was the English speaking announcer, the French speaking announcer. And so Chris, tell me you're on the 15 minutes of fame. Give me the Sunday speech.
Eh ben alors, je dois parler encore un peu de français pour toi, Golly, non? C'est ça que tu veux, hein? Ouais, il est en train de rigoler. Alors, mes 15 minutes, ça va terminer dans environ 1 minute et quelques. Et puis, ouais, merci pour être ici parmi nous, pour écouter. Et puis, on espère que vous êtes en bonne santé. Et puis, on vous souhaite tout le meilleur pour cette temps dur. Mais vas-y, ça va être mieux. Surtout en été. Et puis là, on est de nouveau tous dehors. Et puis, ça va être top.
I concur completely.
Like that.
Yeah, right, absolutely.
Right. My German would be better.
If somebody wants to hire Chris, if somebody wants to hear Chris on the radio, drop me all your information right now. You got 20 seconds.
Well, you can hire me for events by emailing me That will be CHA at datacom, DATACOMM.ch. That will be my email. So you can hit me up on email. And if you need a voice, I'm yours. I'm all yours, live or for, I don't know, commercials whatsoever.
Yeah, I vote
Even in
yes.
French or in German, Swiss German would be my native language. That's what I speak most of the day.
And I can attest that he does it well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Christoph Arnold of Bern, Switzerland. And man, thank you so much. We will definitely do this again because you got all the nice things like microphones and that yellow shirt. It's pretty impressive. There's no doubt that that is not impressive. Thank you so much. Thanks for being a part of the 15 Minutes of Fame. Christoph Arnold, I'm Goldie. We are out.